So every now and then when I'm watching videos on YouTube, I'll get a little pop-up, sometimes before the video, sometimes after, with like a one question survey. And today I wanted to look at two examples. One is a question that I think is like, it's pretty good, like a few little tweaks, but like overall pretty good. And another is an example of a question that I just don't think is giving YouTube advertisers useful information. So like kind of a waste. Like, don't waste my time with this, right? Like, ask a better question. Here's the one I saw that I think is pretty good. It says, which of these fragrances have you seen online video advertising for recently? Give some options, and then has the none of the above option. You can check multiple. I think this is pretty good. The only tiny change I might make is like bolding or underlining online video advertising. I know sometimes I'm only like half paying attention. I'd just be like, have I heard of this? And like check it if I've heard of it. But what they really want to know is not if I've heard of the fragrance, but if I've seen online video advertising. So I think calling that out a little bit more would be ideal. But still, like, I see this and I'm like, yeah, this is like pretty good, clear. They can interpret this data. Big fan. Okay, big fan might be an overstatement, but like, yeah, it's good. It's good. Okay, then we have this other question that says, please rate your ads experience on YouTube recently. Awful, poor, average, good, excellent. I am not a big fan of this question, and if you watch my videos, that probably doesn't surprise you. Top of mind is like, what is the difference between awful and poor? Like, they're both bad. And I get like, just because of survey design, like the first one is probably like the worst, right? Awful is the worst, then poor is a little bit better, then average is like meh in the middle. I still love like when you're interpreting that data and you're presenting it, like 20% said it was awful and 30% said it was poor. Like, is that really a meaningful difference to report? Not a fan. I don't think that's a good answer categories. Same with average. Like, what's an average ad experience? Like, maybe I always really love my ads, so average for me is like pretty positive, right? Like, I think this means like, it's not that good, it's not that bad, it's just like meh. Again, like, I just don't find that like a particularly helpful answer category. Like, always think about how you're going to report this out. I don't think that's great. Good versus excellent. Yeah, I can see the difference there. Like, fine, but overall, not loving the scale. What would I do instead? You could definitely change the scale so that it's more clear, like having a bad experience to having a good experience, but I would actually suggest something totally different. Here's why. I'm always looking at questions thinking about like, how can you use this information to make decisions? And if people tell you like, I've had an awful ad experience on YouTube, what's the action that like YouTube or advertisers can take using that information? So actually, if you watch my videos historically, you'll see that I don't really like asking about satisfaction generally. I think that it's just too big, too general to really get companies, businesses, organizations, people, whatever, actionable information. And to me, if you're asking people to take the time out of their day and answer questions for you, like to give you data, basically, please make it actionable. Like, isn't that the point anyways? And knowing satisfied versus unsatisfied doesn't really help you have specific steps of what to do next. So especially if you can only ask a very small set of questions, or in this case, one question, knowing overall satisfaction, like, you know, like, yay, we did a good job, or boo, we did a bad job, that doesn't really help you do anything, like know what to do differently, right? So just like brainstorming my notes app off the top of my head, some other things that you could think about writing questions around. These are not the questions I would ask. This is like the buckets of brainstorming topics to consider rewriting these questions, right? So you could ask about ads relevance, like knowing if someone's seen ads that they feel like are relevant to them. So like about things they would want to buy or do, etc. That could be helpful insights to have in determining like what ads to show people. Maybe instead of relevance, you want to know about if the ads are like entertaining. Like, are they entertaining to you? Like, do you think they're funny? Do you think they're interesting? Do you think they're thrilling? Whatever. Again, that would give you like specific information you could take action on. And I swear I've seen this one on YouTube before, but I'm not 100% positive, but asking like, do you want to see more ads like this? I actually remember like when Hulu first started, like a long time ago, you could like upvote or downvote ads and be like, yeah, I don't want to see any more ads like this. And I actually kind of love that. And I think that gave them good data on like the types of ads that I liked and didn't like. Now, you don't know if I like it because I actually want to buy the thing or because I think it's funny, but that's still just like a better layer of information than knowing generally like ads, like thumbs up or thumbs down. So just a few quick thoughts on this. Again, just like always encouraging you all to think through, like one, the user experience, right? I think that's super important. And two, like you want this information, so let's make this the best information we can possibly get you, and let's make it something that you can use to like learn, grow, do better. And if you're thinking like, Kirsten, why did you go on the like bonus rant about satisfaction? That wasn't even a satisfaction question. You're totally right. It wasn't. It just really reminded me of one because it was like similar in the sense that it's a question asking me to reflect on like an overall experience and just say like whether it was good or bad, which to me is just like very parallel. Same kind of vibes as asking me if I'm satisfied or not with something.